is technically episode 11 of the Dirt Surfer podcast. It was a podcast that me and my best friend Mark Martinez decided to do because I felt like it was time to kind of share a lot of the things that we had done in the past couple of years. And I had only told myself that I was going to do 10 podcasts. I don't know why I tend to put a cap on creativity, which I'm learning to let go. But sorry about the mic, still getting adjusted. So it's been a while. It's been a good while. But I wanted to do this before the new year started because I told myself that I would, and grow into the next phase of what a podcast is, which is the video aspect of it. So I mustered up the courage and I set up a little shindig here and decided to just do it and get into it. So if you haven't seen the past 10 episodes, it's a little older. I wish I would have kept the momentum up, but everything happens for a reason. But I definitely want to elaborate on what I wanted to do with the Dirt Surfers podcast, which is expanding on everything that I've learned, the people that I've met, the experiences that I've had in El Paso, Texas, growing as a creative. And I guess I just want to introduce myself to everybody. I'm Ferny Gonzalez. Nice to meet everybody. I wanted to kind of show what I've learned and talk to guests slowly as I get comfortable with this talking to the camera thing, to just show people that a small town like ours has amazing stuff or countercultures, underground cultures that people don't really know about. And skateboarding definitely is one of them. That's something that I grew up doing. That's how I met Mark Martinez. If you listen to the podcasts, we have the full history of everything that, we've done and how we met and our friends, and, how it kind of saves us from a boring place where you can just go and get faded and end up doing dumb shit, Not that I have anything against that. Everyone has their stuff, but there's more to that. And the bar scene is super cool. I know a lot of people in the bar scene and a lot of respectable individuals that are good friends of mine. But I just feel like sometimes it's hard to find a creative way in a town that has, just school, a party scene, and retirement. So I want to take this platform and use it to share stuff that I've learned, because there's maybe people out there that, could use this information. Let me go into my notes before I keep rambling. So I guess first of all, welcome back to Dirt Surfers. This is episode 11. I will fix all of the other 10 episodes on YouTube. I think I only have 5 up there right now. But I'll upload everything. They're just going to be audio. And then let's see where this goes. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in a home of artistes. My mom and my dad always worked together to support the family, and sometimes they had to do some crazy stuff. But my dad grew up being a photographer, and I got to see that firsthand. So I learned a lot of cool stuff. I got introduced to Photoshop when Photoshop first came out. I would help him with his wedding photos and, touch-ups and stuff like that. So I got really obsessed with, graphic design at a very young age. So when I decided to go into school, I was kind of being dumb about it, in the sense that I thought I knew more than the teachers. So, school isn't for everybody. I am actually thinking about going back. It's been heavy on my mind, but I think that we should all figure out what we want from life before we embark on extreme debt, debt. I'm going to get shit for that. Debt. Because I just feel like everybody has a creative side, and I took it for granted for a long time. And that's why I'm forcing myself to do this, because I keep meeting individuals that start off believing in their craft or learning something in skateboarding, in the art world, in photography and videography or whatever. And for whatever reason, they stop. And I'm guilty of that myself. If it's work or responsibilities or relationships or whatever it is, we find excuses to stop creating. And I think everybody should practice creating, whether it's cooking or, photography, skateboarding, whatever, all that stuff. Sorry about that. The doggos. I'm sure you could hear that. Anyways, I think that I took it for granted for a long time that I had this ability. And as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that I didn't take the conventional route that most people do, which is, a solid concrete foundation of education. And although I'm a well-read individual and I decided that I wasn't going to be, a malandro, which if you don't know what that is, Google it. It's just really easy to fall victim to dumb stuff, which I did myself growing up. But I always told myself that I would keep nurturing the artistic side of me, because it's helped me find myself, and it's helped me in life. And it's been rough. I can't say it's been easy, but it all started when I was 15, 16 years old, starting to skateboard. And I got introduced to it from actually my brother, and he's very artistic himself. My dad's very artistic, and I wanted to find my own style. So I kind of gravitated towards graffiti a little more, which wasn't a good idea, because eventually down that line, just like skateboarding, you crave an adrenaline. You crave this, I keep saying I got to work on that. No more ums. You crave your own style. You crave okay, what am I trying to say? You want more as you keep progressing in those endeavors, right? So skateboarding is very repetitive. You just keep learning. You can't do it alone, right? You have to skate with a group. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to start skating the streets. You want to, get some footage. You want a newer board. So you just keep progressing and progressing, and it just never ends until you find your own style. And that's very similar to the artistic path, right? As far as, drawing, or what is an artist, right? Who knows? I don't even fucking know. I don't know what an artist is, but I feel like I'm one, and I want to keep nurturing that side of myself, because I feel like I owe it to my bloodline. And I've always felt like the black sheep in my family, because I keep trying and trying and trying to do this stuff. And you hit a lot of walls. So I thought to myself, why not start a podcast where I could talk to my best friend and pick his brain about all this stuff to get to the bottom of it, to see what the next level is, right? So I know I just said a bunch of bullshit right there, but follow me, keep it right here, dog. Keep it right here. So fast forward, I started, doing graffiti. I did a lot of bad stuff. I can't lie. I did vandalize property, but eventually I got caught. I got caught in the Coronado area. Thank God they didn't catch me tagging, but I had an arsenal of spray paint. I had taken out my mom's van, and thank God I was always gloved up, and I always, kept my hands clean and stuff. So when I actually got pulled over at 3 a.m, sneaking out my mom's van with a bunch of spray paint and stencils, I knew something was going to change, because it was no longer fun. And this adrenaline rush. It was a pit in my stomach. Like my parents show up, the police, catches me, and they asked me like what I'm doing out there. And I flat out told them the truth. And I had this weird thing about always dressing up a certain way so that in case I got caught, they wouldn't suspect too much. So it was weird, man. I was wearing like a Gap vest and like a long sleeve under that and like corduroy pants to try to confuse the cops, because I would walk around in a weird outfit, and then when the coast was clear, I'd freaking tag up whatever I wanted to tag up. And anyways, so they asked me, they're like, "What are you doing out here?" And I flat out told them, I was like, I was gonna spray paint, but you guys rolled up, and I'm caught. So they're like, "Well, how old are you, man? Give me your license." And I was like, "I don't got one." So, and we'll touch on that too. A lot of problems haven't stopped from there because speeding tickets and all this shit. Anyways, let's dial it back down. Yeah, so I got caught. I had to go to court. I felt like I embarrassed my mom. There was a lot of bad stuff after that, but skateboarding still was part of my life. And even though I didn't have a door on my freaking room anymore because they took it off the hinges, I decided to always keep and nurture my love for street art, graffiti, graphic design, and incorporate that in my friend group and incorporate that in my day-to-day life. And it helped me, it helped me throughout, all of those years from 16 all the way to 21, 22, and 23. I remember those years where I felt very lost, but I had this thing of, I feel like an artist. And if I keep nurturing that when I get older, it'll give something back. And I feel like I've hit a ceiling when it comes to these things. I currently work at a local business as a product manager and project manager. I've worked in a lot of different print shops. I've started creative endeavors with my friends. I've started, streetwear brands, and they all kind of sizzle out, but you always have fruit after those things, right? Like, what am I going to take from this? And now in my life, I'm 34 years old, and I can't lie, it's getting a little hard. We need to make decisions. And, I think this YouTube channel, this platform, and this video could help a lot of people understand that, younger people, and who knows, maybe even older, that, being a first generation Mexican American, you have a lot of pressures on you. You have a lot of attention on you. Like, what are you going to do with this chance? And it's understandable, but it's a little unfair, and I think talking about these topics and bringing up all of the highs and the lows and the learning experiences in a small town like ours, more people will understand that, hey, you know what? Maybe I do want to pursue the artistic path. Maybe I do want to be in school, but also learn about these things. For me, it was screen printing. Screen printing really, it was like a multi-layered way of creating something. And sort of similar to photography, you start off, with a photo, and then, what are you going to do with that? You could either blow it up. Well, first of all, you have to, develop it. You have to, if you really want to go back to what photography is, you could have a whole bunch of chemicals to get you a photo where now you can just print it out. But the process is very similar to screen printing. So coming from a household with a photographer there, it was kind of natural for me. I caught on really quick. So at around the age of, I believe it was 18, 19, I started screen printing. And then, I got really good at it. I felt like it was like my calling or something. And I loved being in the zone, just coming up with ideas and printing them or not printing them or hoarding them or, making a shirt or printing it on a skateboard or whatever. But I never really truly took it to the level until I needed to start making money. And And I tried going to school. I did. I did drop out of community college. I started off with graphic design, and the basics alone were fucking hell. But I had like 3 speech classes, which makes no fucking sense. But that's neither here nor there, you know. Uh, so screen printing became my outlet for creativity. And I mean, there's 2 sides of screen printing, right? There's what the hell's that? That was weird. I don't know what the hell that was. Anyways, yeah. So screen printing has two different sides to it. It has a creative side, and it has a business side to it, right? So obviously, you got to mix those two for commercial printing and all that stuff. But also, you have to understand that screen printing is fairly new. I mean, it does go back. I'm not going to go into the history of it, but it keeps evolving, especially with equipment and just evolving the print. There's direct to garment stuff. There's all sorts of crazy shit now, but I'm into manual printing. Very similar to skateboarding. It's just something that you have to keep doing to acquire more knowledge and practice it. And you just keep practicing to get better and better and better. And through my printing career, I finally feel confident in saying that I have and I am in the print world, because I didn't stop. You know, even if I wasn't working for someone, I would always, provide it as a service just to challenge myself. And it's given a lot to me. It's given a lot back to me. So it was kind of hard to accept that my life wasn't going to be the same or similar to people that I grew up with, or my peers or my family, because school was a big part and is a big part of their lives. So going back to that again, it's happening again. I don't know what the hell. Thumbs up, bro. Okay, got it. It's the ghost. I don't know what it is. Anyways, yeah, I want to expand on everything that I've learned with screen printing, and I'm gonna do this with the YouTube. But also I want to interview all the people that I've met and all the awesome, business owners and artists and creatives that I got to meet personally, because I was able to use screen printing as a way of income and providing a service. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are like, "Hey, bro, you never hit me back." You can only do so much, man. I'm only one guy, but it's definitely something that has shaped who I am and has helped me mentally cope with a lot. So I just wanted to take the time to do this solo episode to inform you guys that all the people that have been watching us, anybody that has followed what we do, followed what I've done, followed what Mark has done, or any of our peers that you guys have met through, if it wasn't Knuckleboard Shop, it was Proper Print Shop. If it wasn't Proper, it was Rad Division. And if it wasn't Rad, it was Desert People, So Desert People was our kind of like the last venture that I was really on with my best friend. And that evolved into movies, Desert People Productions. And, he's focusing on movies, and I've always loved, making music, making beats, and, making, little stems here and there, and just messing with, music in general. So there is a lot of multi-layers to my brain, but I've always applied it in ways where it had more than just me in it. And as you get older, you obviously start to have less time. You get tied back onto responsibilities. You get, you have bills to pay. You got, a bunch of shit. And you're either in a workplace where you enjoy what you do, but you get paid shit, or as a creative, I think, especially in a town like this, there's really not a lot in El Paso to offer, especially for a screen printer. So you want to, do your own venture. You want to do your own thing. And so I think the YouTube channel is a really good way for me to keep going in the journey that I've put myself on since 16, 17 years old. And I never thought that eventually I would be in a attic room in the corner with a fucking light on my face talking to you guys. But I think if I do that, I might help somebody, and I might be able to reach those that doubt themselves at a young age and even older, that if you're pursuing this artistic life, that, it's going to be hard, but you have to be resilient, and you have to keep learning, and you have to keep a group of people that will fuel that fire and hone into what you're good at and what you're bad at, because your strengths could be your weaknesses and your weaknesses can be your strengths, vice versa, right? So going back to what I do, screen printing, I finally transcended into a master print world where I can pretty much manifest anything from a computer or an image onto a t-shirt. If it's not a t-shirt, it could be any medium. I can print on anything now, and I can do the full process on my own. And very similar to skateboarding, I mean, nobody could really show you how to skate. Your group or who you surround yourself with can elevate that, but it's really all up to you. And it could be hard because in a smaller town like El Paso, and I keep not bashing it, but I'm kind of just giving my perspective of where I live, because I am at a point in my life where what is the next phase? And if I want to start a life where I can sustain myself and, create a future, I have to make a whole bunch of money, and I don't want to compromise. I want to do exactly what I know I can do. And El Paso doesn't have that to offer. It's very limiting. So the next phase would be to move. But the YouTube is going to allow me to keep my journey as an artist and as a screen printer alive. Thumbs up. I don't know what the fuck that is. I got to figure out what that is. So let me go back on these notes really quick, because I feel like I rambled for like 20 minutes, but that's all right. It's part of it. This is part of it. I'll get better at it, What do we got here? I kind of touched on everything that I had talked about or that I had written. But it was a slow evolution, It was a lot of weird confrontational conversations. It was a lot of doubt from loved ones, and it was really hard, but I'm in a place now where I truly can't believe how it all played out. And I'm very blessed that I'm part of something that as a child, I never in a million years thought that I would be part of, which is, Blue Beetle. I want to touch on that. So, me and my best friend, Mark, we were both working on this passion project, Desert People, and we created a pretty cool t-shirt to represent our town. And since I always wanted to push the envelope with my printing, I found a cool technique that kind of elevates a regular graphic t-shirt, and a lot of people liked it. A lot of people still have it, and ask Mark what's going to happen with that. But the sunset shirt that we both created and sold to the public made it all over the world, because there's El Pasoans all over. And I feel like a lot of creatives gravitated towards that shirt because it was a hometown t-shirt of where they were from, but also printed in a way that was creative. It was artistic. It's a fountain print, so it looks really cool. It's like a gradient with the El Paso mountains and the star with like a really cool. Mark did a really good job at designing it, and we both, I feel, did a great job at executing the t-shirt. And I'm really proud of that design, because I feel like it's my gold medal that the universe gave me, because it made it into the Blue Beetle. We got contacted. They asked for a care package. We sent a bunch of shirts, and then fast forward, a whole year later, it gets into the movie. You know, it made the cut. The shirt made it into the movie. And I couldn't believe it, you know, seeing a shirt that I printed probably thousands and fucking thousands of shirts. It made it into the DC universe, you know. And if you guys haven't seen Blue Beetle, go check it out. I think it's an amazing movie. But our shirt is in George Lopez's truck. So he nicknames his freaking truck El Taco, right? And Mexicans are fucking funny. Like, I'm Mexican. We're funny. I didn't mean that, you know. Don't, you know. We're funny, you know. So I remember going to Juarez a lot, and as a kid, and a lot of my uncles and aunts, you know, would take us around, you know, town and stuff. And I remember, actually, I think it was in Chihuahua that we went to, and I remember seeing T-shirts wrapped around seats, like in the cars. Like they would put T-shirts like it was like the seats wearing a fucking shirt. And I asked my dad, I was like, dude, what the hell's that about? He's like, I don't know. Well, it's to keep it clean, you know? But I think it's just like aesthetic. And there's all sorts of weird shit. There was like the massage beads, you know, there was those. There was all sorts of weird shit. But it's culture, right? You know, it's just in our culture to express ourselves. So in the movie, George Lopez, or, you know, the director probably decided to put our shirt in his truck in that fashion. And I think it's even cooler that no one's wearing it, that it's part of something that the director understood was part of the culture. So it was really, really cool to see our shirt, even if it was for like a second, you know. Pause it. There's a scene. I'll find the stamp or the time stamp and put it on the description in this video. But if you pause it, I believe Jaime is using the taco to rescue the girl or something, but it's super fast, and if you caught it, you're a real one. But it made it into the movie. So when I saw that in the movie theaters, you know, blown up in a huge screen, it kind of overwhelmed me, because I was like, well, what's next, right? Like if this is where I ended up, like a shirt in the movie, like how much further, what do I do with this, right? Like, you can only do so much. It's not like it's just part of the movie. So how do you monetize that? How do you use that for your portfolio, or what do you do with that freaking gold medal? I don't want to just hang it up, you know, and I want to use it as an anchor to show people and to make them understand that if you keep going in this, you know, artistic journey, eventually you're going to get something that now you can do something with, and you could, you know, figure out the next step in your career, because that's exactly where I'm at. And I love my job, you know. I do print really awesome shirts, and I help with the designing process and all that stuff, but there's something in me that wants more, right? Like how can I elevate this life as an artist? And I think teaching and expanding on everything that I've learned for the interwebs, you know, it will help people, and it'll also help me, you know what I mean? Because I'm very scared of this, but I think if I continue it, it'll give, and hopefully I can grow a following. And all the people that have been part of our journey, sorry about the dogs. Give me a second. Okay, we're back. They're still barking, but they'll settle down. I don't want to stop. I don't even know what I was saying because I had to cut, but I guess bringing it all back to what I was trying to say with this episode, which is a little different, because it's just me sitting in a room, and I don't know who's going to watch it. It'll get better as I go, but, you know, I think we could all create. I think we all have the ability to create, and I think that, you know, there's a lot of lessons that we can learn from being an artist that can be applied into our everyday lives. And I'm excited, I'm really excited to keep this momentum going and share the ideas and the life lessons that I've acquired and interview other individuals that I've met that are willing to talk to me about these things, because people need to know. People need to know about El Paso, and not that they don't, right? But I want to do my part and throw all of my info on here so that people know what the fuck we did and what I do, because I want to keep growing as an artist. So I really thank you for watching. Right now we're at 30 minutes. I told myself I would keep it around that time. And sorry if this was just a giant ramble, but I wanted to do this for myself and to prove to myself that it doesn't matter, how much time we take. If we really want something and we put our mind to it, we could do it. So again, thank you for watching this. I hope you guys click and subscribe that shit and follow the YouTube, follow the Instagram. And the next time I see you, I don't know why I say we. The next time I see you, we will have a guest, and it'll all be around the artistic, world. But also, there's a lot of cool people that I would love to interview. So keep it tuned in. I appreciate your guys' love. I appreciate your guys' time